Word up, everyone. This is the Buckethead Disciple. There is a huge debate in shred guitar as to who the fastest guitarist in the world is. Guitar One magazine has an opinion. Guitar World magazine has an opinion. You have an opinion. We all have an opinion. Some big names, along with Buckethead, are Sean Lane, Paul Gilbert, good old Michelangelo, Rusty Cooley, and Jason Becker. There's even a guy who claims to have collected every professional guitarist's top speed with the song that they played that reached that top speed. Buckethead is actually towards the bottom of this list. While I could turn this video upside down by referencing Buckethead's Deli Creeps days and say that he can actually play way faster than most of the guys in front of him on that list, but I want to go in a different direction. I want to talk specifically about the question, who is the fastest? That is a dangerous direction to go. After all, if you're going into technicalities, then with that logic, the Guinness World Record holder should be the absolute fastest, right? But if you search for the Guinness World Record's fastest guitarist on the internet, you will run into a ton of guys who are playing the Flight of the Bumblebee anywhere between 999 beats per minute to 1600 beats per minute. While it is amazing that those guys can play that fast, to me it sounds like a horse with diarrhea. You can't even tell what's going on after 600 BPM. But no one listens to these guys while driving with their friends to go see Disney on Ice, right? We listen to people that are on that list instead, probably because they actually make music. I've noticed that fans of shred guitar judge guitars based on two standards. One, the faster the better, and two, fast but also creative. Let's be honest, shredders being able to play super fast are good at guitar, don't get me wrong, but for some people that isn't good enough. Many people prefer a more creative and musical approach to shred guitar. Yeah, but what is musical? Let me attempt to explain. Spanish literature is replete with a phenomenon called lo efímero, or the fleeting feeling, the ineffable, the feeling that cannot be described through words. What does this have to do with music? Music is a medium in which man yearns to find lo efímero. An article about Buckethead describes him and his music by saying, musicians manipulate sound and prose in an attempt to communicate lo efímero, and listeners relate to music that resonates with them. Buckethead is very good at this. The man has already mastered several genres, but being able to shred in each genre in a way to where it conveys a feeling is more impressive than simply playing fast. In the words of the previous article I mentioned, Buckethead is capable of adding emotional nuance to his playing. It's not simply scales played at the speed of light. Here is a way in which I visualize the relationship between speed and creativity. Look at this graph. On the x-axis, we have capability, which is speed, technique, and playing complexity, for example. On the y, we have creativity, the number of genres you're good at, how much music you can produce, bringing something new to the table, and lo efímero. This blue point is where horse diarrhea resides. In green, we have that collective list of shred guitarists, which creates a region similar to this. Not as fast as horse diarrhea, but they still make their own music and are somewhat dynamic players. I feel like Buckethead is somewhere up here. We'll put him in red, he likes the color red. He's not the fastest, but he's pretty close. And he doesn't play 57 instruments, but is certainly quite creative. Just look at his significant album production and the vast array of genres and instruments that he does play. In gray, I'm going to put those individuals who do play 57 instruments. In addition to the guitar, they are good at playing piccolo and maybe the violin, but maybe do not have a vast array of skills associated with each of those instruments. With these points, I'm going to make a few boxes that I like to call the musician's area. General greatness is a function of the area of the box that is created on this graph. The larger the area of the box, the better the guitarist. If you calculate the estimated area, multi-instrumentalists get a 15, Buckethead gets a 40, other shredders tend to get a 30, while horse diarrhea gets only a 6. Remember, this is just a visual representation behind the fast but creative judgment standard, and isn't actual doctrine or anything. This is just supposed to help you understand what it means. Going back to the standards by which guitars are judged, the faster the better, or fast but also creative, I encourage you to ask yourself, by what standard are you more prone to distinguish a better guitarist? If you judge based on the first standard, to be honest, Buckethead doesn't make the top 5. But based on the second standard, I think he's number 1. asking who the fastest guitarist is will most likely end with horse diarrhea, but taking shred to another dimension of creativity will always make it worthwhile. I do not intend to judge those who respect guitarists based on their speed, but I would recommend that such a standard not be the only one which you use to distinguish a guitarist. To conclude, is Buckethead the fastest guitarist? No, he is not. Even Buckethead will admit that. But there really isn't a fastest guitarist. It's even hard to determine who is faster than who. After all, I think that's missing the point. Shred guitar is more than just playing fast. I encourage you to comment your thoughts below, but on the condition that you be equanimous and respectful to others and their opinions. Especially mine, guys, because, you know, I made this video and stuff, so yeah.